Disturbing facts that will probably disturb you even if you're not easily disturbed. Part 167. This is survived footage of the collapse of the World Trade Center in 2001. The John Thomas sign is an inside joke for radiologists about the position of a penis during an x-ray. If it points toward an injury or irregularity, it is considered a positive John Thomas sign. Who is John Thomas and why was this named after him? Andrea Yates was a devoutly religious person, as was her husband Russell. She decided that the only way to let her children enter heaven was to kill them and allow herself to be punished for the crime, thereby redeeming them in the eyes of God. So on June 20th, 2001, she drowned her 5 children in the family bathtub. She said, "My children were not righteous. They were doomed to perish in the fires of hell." These are the officers that made the discovery. And I can imagine that they would just never be the same again. Between 1916 and 1926, a mysterious neurological illness called encephalitis lethargica, aka the sleep plague, caused a widespread epidemic that caused adults to suffer from headaches, fever, lethargy, double vision, and in severe cases, they would fall into a coma-like state where they could not be roused. A third of the children affected experienced strange changes in their behavior, many of them becoming delinquents. Boys between the ages of 5 and 18 years were the most affected. Symptoms included a change of personality, restlessness, irritability, irregular sleeping habits, emotional instability, and temper tantrums that included unpredictability, which doctors described as moral insanity. More extreme cases included aggression and a shameless sexual activity. Many surviving patients ended up making a full recovery and returning to their everyday lives. However, the majority of patients developed psychiatric and neurological disorders, and some would even spend years in a comatose state. Now, somewhere around the 1970s, these survivors that were still kicking it, even though they were basically comatose, were given a drug for Parkinson's, and they miraculously made a sudden and full recovery, waking up, 6 decades later. But unfortunately, the cure was short-lived, and they would soon revert back to their comatose state, often dying. It really makes me wonder, if the people that were in the comatose state, if they had a form of locked-in syndrome, where on the outside you're a vegetable, but on the inside you know everything that's going on around you. That would be my biggest fear, is to have locked-in syndrome, and I'm in the hospital room, surrounded by my family, and I'm just screaming internally, "Thanks for watching."